in the mist-shrouded archipelago of Orkney, where the northern Isles of Scotland rise like ancient sentinels from the North Sea. The line between land and water blurs, and the world feels alive with whispers older than stone. Here, among rugged cliffs, wind-swept moors, and beaches where the tide sings of forgotten times, the tales of the Selkies weave a spell that binds islanders and visitors alike. These magical beings, half seal, half human, are both revered and feared, their stories told in hushed tones by firelight, as if speaking their name too loudly might summon them from the waves. Selkies are creatures of duality, their sleek, silvery seal forms gliding through Orkney's icy waters by day, their bodies cutting the currents with a grace that belies their size. But under the moon's pale gaze, they shed their sealskins on lonely shores, emerging as human-like figures of breathtaking beauty, with long, flowing hair that shimmers like kelp in the sunlight and eyes that hold the fathomless depths of the ocean. They walk the beaches, their footsteps light but their hearts heavy with the sea's call, bound to the water yet drawn to the land. Selkies embody a longing that is both their gift and their curse, their lives a delicate dance between two worlds. The most cherished Selkie tale in Orkney, passed down through generations in Stromness and Sandwig, is that of Mary, the Selkie bride, and the fisherman who loved her. Long ago, on the shores of Scale Bay, where the Neolithic stones of Skara Brae stand watch, a young fisherman named Torvald watched from the cliffs as a group of Selkies danced under the midsummer moon. Their laughter was like the chime of seashells, their movements a weave of grace and wildness. Among them was Mary, her hair a cascade of dark waves, her eyes catching the starlight like polished jet. Entranced, Torvald crept closer, his heart pounding with a desire he could not name. As the Selkies returned to their sealskins, he seized Mary's, hiding it in a crevice beneath the cliffs. When she could not find her skin, Mary wept, her cries echoing over the tide. But Torvald, feigning kindness, offered her shelter. Unable to return to the sea, she followed him to his croft, her steps heavy with resignation. In time, they married, and Mary bore him 3 children, 2 boys with eyes as deep as the ocean, and a girl whose laughter carried the cadence of waves. For 7 years, Mary lived as a human, tending the hearth, mending nets, and singing lullabies that spoke of coral caves and sunken ships. Yet her gaze often drifted to the horizon, her hands trembling as she touched the salt-stiffened ropes. Torvald, sensing her unrest, grew jealous, guarding the secret of her skin with a zeal that bordered on obsession. The children, too, noticed their mother's quiet sorrow, her habit of standing by the shore at dawn, as if listening for a voice only she could hear. One stormy night, as the wind howled through the Orkney skies, Mary's youngest son, Finn, stumbled upon a hidden chest in the croft's attic. Inside lay a shimmering sealskin, soft as moonlight and smelling of the deep sea. Recognizing it from his mother's stories, he brought it to her, his small hands trembling. Mary's eyes filled with tears, her fingers tracing the skin as if greeting an old friend. That night, as Torvald slept and the children dreamed, she slipped from the croft, her bare feet silent on the path to Scale Bay. There, under a sky torn by lightning, she donned her skin and dove into the waves, her human form melting into the seal's sleek grace. The sea welcomed her, its currents singing her name, and she was gone. Torvald awoke to an empty house, his cries lost to the storm. The children, heartbroken, grew up with the sea in their blood, their lives marked by an unspoken yearning. Fishermen swore they saw a lone seal watching the shore, its eyes too human, its mournful calls echoing on moonlit nights. The tale of Mary, both tragic and liberating, became a cornerstone of Orkney's lore, a reminder that the sea's pull is stronger than any bond, and that love, no matter how deep, cannot chain a creature to a world not its own. The Selkie myth is woven into Orkney's soul, its origins as deep and tangled as the kelp forests off Hoy. Folklorists like Dr. Eilidh McKinnon of the University of the Highlands and Islands trace the tales to Neolithic times, when Orkney's first inhabitants lived in harmony with the sea. The Ring of Brodgar and the Stones of Ness, ancient monuments that dot the islands, stand near shores where seals bask, their forms mirrored in the sinuous carvings of the era. Seals were sacred to these people, McKinnon explains. Their ability to navigate land and sea made them liminal beings, messengers between worlds. Norse influence, brought by Viking settlers in the 8th century, enriched the lore. The Norse spoke of Selkabor, sealfolk who could shed their skins, their stories blending with Celtic tales of the Marrow and Ogiski. In Orkney, where Norse and Gaelic cultures fused, the Selkie became a uniquely Orcadian figure, neither wholly human nor wholly beast. "They're a metaphor for our lives here," said Morag Sinclair, a Stromness storyteller. "We're tied to the sea for survival, fishing, trading, but it's also our danger, our mystery." Selkies embody that pull. The tales vary across the islands. In Westray, Selkies are benevolent, teaching fishermen to navigate storms. In Sanday, they're tricksters, luring men to underwater realms. Yet all share a core theme: the tension between land and sea, freedom and captivity. Some stories cast Selkies as women trapped by human greed, others as men seducing island maids. Their children born with webbed fingers or a longing for the waves. "Every family has a Selkie tale," said Morag. "Mine says my great-aunt saw a Selkie man on Bercy's shore in 1920, his skin folded like a cloak. She ran, but her dreams were never the same." Selkie stories are not relics, but living threads in Orkney's culture. In Kirkwall, the annual St. Magnus Festival includes Selk-inspired music and dance, with fiddlers playing tunes said to mimic the sea's rhythm. In Stromness, children paint seals on pebbles, leaving them on beaches as offerings, a tradition rooted in tales of Selkies granting safe passage to fishermen. Elders, like Magnus Flett of Ede, tell of Selkie pools, tidal coves where seals gather, believed to be portals to the underwater world. "Don't disturb them," Magnus warned. "They're watching, always." Historical sightings fuel the myth. In 1856, a Sandwich farmer claimed to see a woman emerge from a seal's skin on the shore, only to vanish when he approached. In 1947, during a storm off South Ronaldsay, a trawler crew reported a seal swimming alongside their boat, its eyes to knowing, guiding them to safety. In 2018, a tourist from Edinburgh photographed a figure on Papa Westray's cliffs, its silhouette human but its movements fluid, like a seal's. The image, shared on X, sparked debates, with #Orkney trending briefly. "It's not about proof," said Dr. McKinnon. "It's about feeling the sea's pulse, knowing there's more than we can see." Modern Orkney embraces the Selkies' allure. The Orkney Folk Festival features ballads like the Selkie of Sulscary, a 19th century song of a Selkie father reclaiming his child. Galleries in Kirkwall sell paintings of seals with human eyes, while the Pier Arts Centre hosts exhibitions exploring the Selkies' dual nature. Tourism thrives on the myth, with guided walks along the brow of Bursay and boat tours to seal colonies off Stronsay, where visitors hope to glimpse a Selkie shedding its skin. "They come for the story," said Freya Gunn, a guide in Westray, "but they leave with the sea in their bones." The Selkie myth resonates because it speaks to universal truths: the longing for freedom, the pain of divided loyalties, the inevitability of returning to one's true self. For Orcadians, the sea is both lifeblood and enigma, its bounty sustaining fishing communities, its storms claiming lives. The Selkie embodies this duality, her story a mirror for the islanders' own dance with the tides. "We're all Selkies in a way," said Morag Sinclair, "torn between home and the pull of something bigger." Folklorists see deeper layers. "The Selkie is a feminist archetype," said Dr. McKinnon. "Her stolen skin is her agency, taken by a man's desire. Her return to the sea is reclamation, but at a cost." The tales also reflect Orkney's history of isolation, where women often waited for fishermen who never returned, their lives shaped by the sea's whims. In 2024, a Kirkwall poet, Elspeth Rendell, published Skin of the Sea, a collection reimagining Selkie stories from the women's perspective. Its verses performed at the Orkney Storytelling Festival to rapt audiences. Globally, Selkies inspire. Films like Song of the Sea and novels like The Folk Keeper draw on their myth, while X posts about Orkney's shores often mention Selkie sightings, blending awe and skepticism. Yet in Orkney, the tales remain sacred. In 2023, a Stromness fisherman found a sealskin washed ashore after a gale. Its texture unnaturally soft. He returned it to the sea, fearing to keep what wasn't his. "You don't tempt the Selkies," he said. "They belong to the water, not us." As the wind howls through Orkney's stone circles and the waves crash against jagged cliffs, the Selkie's presence lingers. On the beaches of Sandwig, where the tide uncovers secrets, or the cliffs of Yesnaby, where seals bask under stormy skies, it's easy to believe in creatures that straddle worlds. Visitors walk the shores, their eyes scanning for a shimmer of skin or a figure too graceful to be human. Locals, like Freya Gunn, smile at their hope. "Selkies don't show themselves to those who chase," she said. "They come when you're quiet, when you listen to the sea." Whether myth or memory, the Selkies are Orkney's heartbeat. Their stories a testament to the island's magical realism. They speak of love that cannot hold, of freedom that costs everything, of a sea that gives and takes in equal measure. In a land where the horizon is both promise and peril, the Selkies remain elusive, eternal. A reminder that some mysteries are meant to swim just beyond our reach, their songs carried forever on the tide. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, subscribe, and comment below.